is America's oldest soccer tournament. Built in small towns with big dreams. From local grounds to the biggest stages, part-timers and major leaguers chase the same thing. A cup that doesn't care about your club's payroll or what the pundits say. A cup that invites the chaos and carries a legacy. Under the lights, between the lines, it's one match at a time. To cement your name in history. This is the 111th edition.
The magic of the cup washes ashore at the Paradise Coast. FC Naples out of USL League One kicks off their time in the 111th US Open Cup. They welcome Red Force, the amateur side out of South Florida. Welcome inside the Paradise Coast Sports Complex and PCSC Stadium alongside former pro Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Jake Griffith. Glad to have you alongside us. For FC Naples, Ricky, they were in this tournament a season ago, reached the third round, and their manager, Matt Poland, he's no stranger to US Open Cup draws.
For FC Naples, a team that is expected of success, especially after successful year one that went into the playoffs of USL League One. And to start 2026, a team that has picked up 4 points out of a possible 6. So this team knows exactly who they want to be. They want to make you uncomfortable. They're going to outwork you. Expect this FC Naples side to take this game to Red Force in the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Naples opponents today, Red Force out of South Florida. They are an amateur side, and they advanced out of the Open Division qualification. A wild path to get here. Scored 4 unanswered to clinch their 5th ever Open Cup bid.
For this Red Force side, a team that knows each other extremely well, that extremely close coming out of Miami, Florida, and Kendall area. You're looking at players that understand how to play the game. Look for them to be connected in terms of their shape to start this match.
Kickoff moments away from Naples, Florida. First ever meeting between Red Force and FC Naples. Starters and kick when we return to the Paradise Coast Sports Complex.
Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. It's Gio Reyna across goal. Balogun! The way opens up for Alex Freeman. Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance. Rodman cuts inside. Rodman to the far corner. It's a special goal from Trinity Rodman. Macario goes to chip the keeper. It's sublime. Lamar from distance.
Back in Naples, Florida, moments away from the opening kick of this first round US Open Cup fixture between FC Naples and Red Force, along with Ricky Lopez-Espin. Jake Griffith, glad to have you with us. A chance to look at how these sides line up. Ricky, first for Naples and their manager, Matt Poland, going with a 4-3-3. 3 personnel changes, including Ian Cerro on the right side of that midfield. He's a guy that knows Open Cup well, played for Poland at AC House in Chicago.
You talked about the 3 changes, but a team in FC Naples that is extremely familiar and has a lot of talent for Matt Pullen. And a Red Force side that you're looking at that center midfield, Moby Fair, Ceballos, John Diaz, those players are going to be the heart and the engine for the visiting side.
The aforementioned Moby Fair played last year at Monterey Bay, 104 total appearances for that USL side. Center referee Jorge Escobar sounds the whistle, and we are underway on this Wednesday evening. The first round of the 111th U.S. Open Cup. Ricky, it's a midweek fixture. It's a non-league fixture for a team like Naples, and for both these sides, it's a knockout fixture as well. How do you settle some of those nerves in knockout soccer? As they go over the top, more on that in a moment. This one helped back inside and cleared out. But Ricky, how do you settle those nerves?
Number one, you need to do the simple things well, which is connecting the passes, having a clean first touch, and for Red Force, your shape defensively. That's going to be really important for Gabriel Vedegaard, because you understand FC Naples is a team that's probably a lot more fitter than you are. So you're going to do a lot of defensive work. You need to be compact to keep this game in front of you.
We have our first whistle from Jorge Escobar, and it will be a free kick for Red Force. They are the amateur side in this fixture. We know the term cup set very well. We saw one last night between Vermont Green out of USL League 2 taking down the USL League 1 side in Portland Hearts of Pine. If you're Red Force, you're playing with house money today.
Nothing to lose, so take your chances, but understanding the balance. When you do go forward, you have to go forward as a collective. The last thing that you want to have happen is to have this game become transitional and spread out.
Back forward comes Red Force out of the Premier Football League, which is headquartered in Miami. They went 8-2-0 during the previous season in 2025. In their winter campaign, 4-0-3. And then they won their 3 straight to advance out of the Open Division qualification. They do earn themselves a corner early into this contest. Red Force have yet to score off a set piece in this run to the opening round of the U.S. Open Cup. Their set piece defense has been a bit solid. This one swung in by Quintero. Headed around, ricocheting, now cleared away. A short one by Mastrantonio. Red Force will pull this one back and reset things to Maximiliano Lucreza. A near giveaway at the back, and they have to steer it back over to Edgard Perez, who will start in goal. 96 career professional appearances for him prior to retiring. Most of those for various professional sides in his native country of Venezuela. And now we have some extracurriculars here after that whistle from Jorge Escobar. One thing we know about Red Force, having seen their Open Division qualifying matches, they're not a team that's afraid to mix it up. In fact, one of their leading goal scorers was sent off on a red in one of those 3. They are not going to be intimidated by the professional side.
Intimidation is not a word for this Red Force side. They're going to wear their emotions on their sleeve. If they don't agree with the call, they're going to give you an earful. So understanding that you need to keep your head, to keep your side equal in terms of numbers on the field would be really important to not leave your side at a disadvantage.
Naples looking for the release here and trying to find a man streaking in behind. The offside flag will come up, and that is Andres Farin, who could just not stay in an onside position. We had a chance to catch up with Naples manager, though, Matt Pullen, earlier this week, and Naples in USL League 1 play coming off a heartbreaking 2-2 draw against upstart Corpus Christi, and their manager Ayman Zayed had the lead in the 89th minute, lost that lead, ended up splitting the points with Corpus Christi, and he said the biggest thing they just need to work on is getting their offensive timing down a little bit.
Now, still early in the USL League 1 season, only 2 games in. It's not going to be perfect, nor should Matt Pullen and company expect it to be perfect. The last thing in terms of the progression that's going to start to click is finding the back of the net and being that fluid type of soccer that we saw from FC Naples in 2025. But we know this team is going to be extremely organized, and work rate is never going to be in question under a manager like Matt Pullen.
Long pass ahead. This one will go careening off the pitch surface and back into the possession of Edgard Perez. Throw in finds Steven Ceballos, who is wearing the captain's armband, former Stetson and Charlotte 49ers midfielder. Red Force dispossessed, and now the real work begins here for Naples. And Hudson Gay, who draws a whistle, the 18-year-old came on against Corpus Christi over the weekend and made his USL League One season debut.
And with that front three of Farine, Seto, and Gay, you're going to get a lot of verticality and a lot of directness. This FC Naples side can play in between lines, but they can also play very direct, as shown here.
Up ahead, seeking O'Connor now streaking in behind. Back on the feet of O'Connor, who will carry it wide. Once the centering pass, punched away there by Perez. It'll stay on this end for a corner.
Understanding when there is a high line for a Red Force, that leaves some space in behind. Fantastic recognition here for O'Connor, and he's a player that loves to bring in his teammates. But in the end, go to the center back for Red Force, doing a fantastic job at just making life extremely difficult for FC Naples early on.
Naples, they've been a good vertical threat in USL League One so far. 9th most long passes completed right now in USL League One play. It nets them a set piece here. Juan Osorio hovering in the vicinity on this windy evening in Naples. Now Jorge Escobar sees some pushing and shoving inside that penalty area he doesn't much care for. Osorio backs off. It'll be O'Connor. O'Connor's service driven into the heart of the defense and over everyone's head. Yoder will pick things up on that far side. Looking to tuck it in. Back to Hudson Gay, running through the defender, and that will draw another whistle as Juan Quintero went down. This Red Force team making their first appearance in the U.S. Open Cup since the 2018 U.S. Open Cup. Trying to advance out of the first round for just the second time in club history. Did that back in 2014 when they took down Colorado Rovers. Also trying to get off the schneid, so to speak, in away fixtures in U.S. Open Cup play. 1-2-0 all time. Perez puts a right foot into this one and play back underway off the stoppage. Dispossessed in the midfield is Red Force, and now turned upfield looking for Andres Farine once more. They're marking Andres Farine very tightly tonight so far, and for good reason. 6 goal contributions last League One season. Already has 3 to start 2026.
Yeah, to start this game, Millon and Coro, the 2 center backs for Red Force, are doing a really good job at understanding if there is no pressure on the ball, they need to drop off and eliminate the space in behind them, but also notice they play on different planes, which is exactly what you need from 2 center backs in that pairing.
Hudson Gay able to come up with it. Action going back down the pitch now, and Red Force will unhook a clearance. Issues here, at least some early issues, as Delgado has to step up and try to clear that one away. Successfully does. Could have been a dangerous giveaway. Now countering is Red Force. That one will go firing into the seats behind Lalo Delgado, but some issues playing out of the back for Naples.
Really casual from Osorio, especially when you have a player being that aggressive with the experience of Moby Fair. Love the aggressiveness, the ability to read this off the half bounce, and the aggressiveness as well from Moby Fair. Good start for Red Force, making some issues for FC Naples when building out.
This Red Force team, they press out of almost that 4-1-4-1 style shape. They forced a lot of issues for their amateur competition during the Open Cup qualifiers. 4 counter-attacking goals of the 10 they scored across those 3 matches. And now we have a whistle as there is a Red Force man down. One thing that Matt Poland emphasized to us and his team this week for Naples is, look, you cannot take any moment off. For some of these amateur teams, this is the highlight of these guys' career. They are absolutely pushing for a cup set, and we're seeing Red Force come out with great energy early on.
Collectively, individually, it's an opportunity to play higher opposition, and that's the beauty of the Open Cup, because it gives you that chance. How many times have we seen a player start their professional career when they play against a higher opposition? Teams start to poach players saying, okay, this guy has something different that we need. You sign on this dotted line, now your professional career starts to happen, but you only have that when you have success through the collective. So for Red Force, understanding if the team finds success, individually, you'll start to find success as well.
Poland likened it to his coaching days with Chicago House AC, as the Red Force man helped back to his feet, and Ceballos will walk off the pitch under his own power. But Poland likened it to his days as the manager of Chicago House AC prior to joining this Naples side. He recalled the 2023 U.S. Open Cup, where they, as an amateur team, upended Forward Madison, qualified in the dark for the Open Cup in Brockton, Massachusetts, and they faced a Chicago Fire team who, in Poland's own words, he said, we came out with so much intensity. My biggest point of pride was we forced an MLS team to respect us for 90 full minutes. One of just 9 amateur sides to ever go on in this tournament to face MLS competition was that Chicago House team. It's play back underway off the injury stoppage, and Naples going back forward again. Real bravery there at the top of the 18 from Perez.
Just a little bit too predictable right now for Naples when trying to play out of the back too many times. We're seeing Master Antonio and Yoder just playing direct, especially with how tight this field is. You need to be a bit more clever.
Ball carrying up the hand of Daniel Gonzalez, former FIU Panther. 12 career goals, 18 career assists for the former Conference USA All-Freshman teamer. You're a South Florida guy. You know how talented that FIU program, how many guys they can churn out.
Talk about defensively, just notice how deep Red Force is sitting. All 11 players within 50, 60 yards of their defensive goal, being really compact to start this match.
When you are taking on a team that is content to play such a low block, how difficult can that be for this attacking-minded Naples team?
For Naples, they need to be extremely clever. Number one, with the ball circulation, the ball needs to move quick. The ball needs to move from left to right so you can open up space centrally. So that's when you play into, but also moving off of the ball, pulling players out of position, being a little bit more selfless for this Naples side in that final third will give you the ability to break through.
Naples, a slow plodding approach in toward this final third, and Torres, the goal scorer, one of 2 last week in League One play for Naples, coughed it up. One back, though, by Glasser. Now pushing things forward is Hudson Gay. Has some support here. It's shoveled over to Farine, and now Farine dragged down, and this will be a free kick for FC Naples.
Yeah, on this right-hand side, you've seen how direct Farine and Gay can be with the ball at their feet. As Gonzalez comes in, no need to try to win that ball because Naples is going nowhere. You just move your feet, you make that corner almost as a second defender. As you see, the first sub here for Red Force.
An early change made by Gabriel Vega, manager of this Red Force side. Steven Ceballos, their captain, who had gone down minutes ago with the injury, unable to carry on. So Steven Salinas, the former USF Bull, will come on to spell him less than 14 minutes into this contest. Meanwhile, Naples, they have, albeit from a sharp angle here, a real advantageous opportunity early.
Especially with the amount of traffic right in front of Perez. You need to put this on target if you are Naples.
The service whipped into that back post and cleared away. Red Force trying to clear the lines, worked back down though by FC Naples. This is where Naples really made their money, especially last year in League One play. When they're able to get that aggressive press going, it's something that Matt Poland had said, we want to be an aggressive pressing team at all times.
Wants to make the opposition very uncomfortable. And we've seen that 15 minutes in, all one-way traffic in favor of the USL League One side playing this game in their attacking half.
Foot stuck in there by Lucas Cora, the Brazilian, former Lincoln Memorial volunteer assistant coach at the Division III level. Force right now having real issues getting it across that halfway stripe. Now set back up here to Juan Osorio, former San Antonio FC man of the USL Championship, 12 appearances last year in the championship. Gonna roll this one in behind. Hudson Gay running it down, looking for the angle for the service, finds it, it falls in front, second ball through, won't make its way toward goal. Now thumped clear by John Diaz.
Gay has been the best player for Naples to start this game, just with his ability to stay high and test the shape for Red Force and put in quality service as well. We've talked about how electric and how direct Naples want to be, but centrally they have a really good feel, specifically with O'Connor Torres, when to join and arrive on top of that 18-yard box.
One thing that was a staple last year for this Naples team, and they do lose some players, including most notably Carson Hinderlong in the offseason, but they were such a great interchange team in and around the area. That's something that Matt Poland feels like they're getting there, but still some work to do as the offside flag comes up. And Red Force will move quickly with it. Gonzalez turns it up ahead to Salinas, who just stepped on the pitch moments ago. One back by Torres.
Aceballo says made way for Salinas. It's going to change things centrally. Moby Fair will be the single pivot. In front of him will be Diaz and Dominguez. And Salinas will actually spearhead the attack going forward for Red Force.
Mastrantonio didn't like his options. The Italian gets it back over to his center back partner. While possession has swung a bit more in favor of Naples these last 5 or so minutes, you do have to give some real credit to Red Force. They are holding their defensive shape very well early on in this contest.
And that was going to be the top priority for Gabriel Vega. If you can get within the first 30 minutes and not concede, that just gives you a little bit of hope, a little bit of confidence. And we've talked about just the magic of the Open Cup, a team that has some hope can go an extremely long way because it's one play that you can find the back of the net.
Torres. They'll leave it off to him. They're just not on the same page there. Back on the outside was FC Naples as Edgard Perez, the 39-year-old keeper, tries to distribute that one away.
And Naples needs to be really careful because you are going to see a lot of the ball. So number one, you cannot allow complacency to creep in. Take that second, that third touch just to slow the game down. But also, you have to keep the game simple. Just keep the ball moving, understanding that you do not need to hit that home run pass at the very first ball that you see. Good movement here.
Good link up. Played back through. It was Garcia seeking a teammate streaking in behind.
And these are the types of movements that you need to break through this Red Force defensive set. You play centrally and then from outside in, a really good run in. In the end, Perez is there to read it off of his line.
Glasser will roll this one back to the two-time League One Goalkeeper of the Year finalist, Lalo Delgado. Delgado making his 10th career appearance in the U.S. Open Cup across multiple USL sides, has kept 2 clean sheets in his career in the U.S. Open Cup. They're such a big fan of Lalo Delgado here in Naples. Matt Poland said ahead of that Corpus Christi fixture, there's a reason he wears the captain's armband for us. He's such a dynamic player in net, and they feel like his organization really sets him apart from other goalkeepers at this level. O'Connor now. O'Connor up ahead to Glasser. Glasser in behind now. Garcia looking for the cutback and instead cut off there by Edgard Perez. The ball goes pinballing out. Julian Cisneros will charge forward, and he will have the throw in for Naples over on that far touchline. Matt Poland, the manager of FC Naples, one of the things, and I thought it shined so much interesting light on the mindset for teams coming into this competition. Being a guy that's been on the other side of a cup set, how do you avoid one now that you're the professional side? You're the big boys, right? And he said it takes relentless work for 90 full minutes from us. It's all about the mindset, as Naples will have consecutive throw-ins. Poland, a real believer in that mental side of soccer, which, you know, as a former player, is so huge. Interchange around the 18. Cisneros had it, lost it, but Red Force can't do anything with it. Osorio calling for support, finds O'Connor. Now thumped back ahead from Mastrantonio. Back down to O'Connor, who's trying to shake free of the defense there. Instead wins a throw in. Last night, Phoenix Rising in the final game of the day, taking down San Ramon FC. But it was something that our friends Jamie Watson and Sean St. Jacques talked about during that broadcast when they caught up with San Ramon manager Bijan Ismaili in the midweek. And Ismaili had told them that one thing you have to watch for when you're an amateur side taking on a pro side is, you know, that fitness starts to wane a little bit as the game goes on. You get into that 70th minute and it starts to drop off a bit. Early on, Red Force, they are going forward somewhat, but it almost feels like they're keeping something back a bit so they don't burn their energy too early.
It's been measured for Red Force. That's something that we've seen through 22 minutes. Understanding defensively, that's going to give us a foundation on how we can attack this game. The longer that we keep this game, no, watch out here.
Played back toward Delgado, who has to come way away from his home in net and clear that away. That's the third time we've seen Naples be a bit casual with that play out of the back. Now Red Force tight roping the touchline. A reset back to Perez, who will just steer this one clear of O'Connor. Here they come. Osorio, he'll swing that one in. And glove down by Edgard Perez. That was Cisneros with the cross in. Cisneros, he's a player that can really push high into the attack from that fullback spot. It's so interesting to watch how Poland uses his two fullbacks in vastly different ways. They love to get Cisneros as that extra attacker to help create things, and then use a guy like Max Glasser to hold back and provide that extra support defensively.
We've talked about the rotations within that front line. A lot of times Gay will be the one that's isolated, and the ability to go 1v1. Instead, it will come centrally, which will allow Cisneros the real estate to advance and create an overload on that top line. But give credit to Red Force. Again, defensively, they've been spot on to start this game, showing a willingness and showing a togetherness to not concede early.
Naples goes centrally this time, and it's the same result. Turned away by Red Force. Kreza gave it up, and now he'll get it back. He was pleading for a whistle, won't get one, and Hudson Gay will quickly throw it in. Trying to catch the defense flat-footed. Inside, it's Torres! Oh, wow! Magic in the first half from Mark Torres, and the deadlock broken, 1-0.
Relentless here from Naples. Give credit to Gay to get this ball quickly back into play. And now this back line for Red Force, they're all over the place, but there is just no stopping this from Torres. Fantastic first touch out of his body, and the movement on this strike is incredible. To get it up and over, bending away from Perez, no chance for the goalkeeper. And a play that we've continued to talk about that can do a little bit of everything for FC Naples opens up the goal scoring for the USL League One side.
Goals in back-to-back matches, all competitions for Mark Torres, a player that Matt Poland this week called such an interesting guy. They said it took him some time to get adjusted coming out of college to the pace of the professional game. They feel like he's gotten adjusted now, and you are seeing real things happen off the boots of Mark Torres. Complexion changed in a flash. Now a near giveaway at the back. No choice but for Edgard Perez to turn that one out of play, and Naples will have the throw.
going to be really interesting this next 5 minutes, because now Red Force needs to get out of their shell just a little bit, but in doing that, you cannot leave yourself exposed going back the way, because we've seen how clinical FC Naples can be when you give them opportunity after opportunity.
Torres, the goal scorer, will come up with it. Kevin O'Connor picking up the assist in the 23rd minute. And now Naples will go with the switch here, something we haven't seen from them much early on in this contest. Cisneros now turning. Cisneros carrying it on. It's Cisneros whose shot is blocked. Second effort fired into the supporters section.
It's an opportunity on that weak side for Naples, but just notice the amount of numbers in the attacking 18-yard box. As this ball pops out, Cero needs to just put this into the mixer. No need to hit this first time. It's a really difficult angle. Wrong decision in the end for Cero.
You are starting to see Naples, though, that offensive timing we touched on at the top of this broadcast. They're starting to figure it out a little bit and find openings and gaps in this rigid Red Force defense. Here's Moby Fair, who will settle things. Rather, John Diaz. Cut it inside to Diaz, who leaves it off. Only given away there by Red Force, and now Lucreza with it. Glasser jumping up for the interception. He's a player that Matt Poland said a few weeks ago he feels like is one of the most athletic, fastest players in USL League One. He can cover a lot of ground, number 4 there in the center of your screen for FC Naples. Cisneros run through, and this will be a whistle again from Jorge Escobar. Red Force continuing to plead their case with our center referee. We've seen moments of physicality, but it hasn't been an overly physical first half to this degree. Mastrantonio doesn't like his options ahead. Here is Lalo Delgado. Glasser now. Mastrantonio going to set things back up to Delgado. Red Force getting numbers higher and higher here, and Naples having a few issues with it. Torres able to dodge that would-be challenge, and now on the move is FC Naples. O'Connor, plenty of options. He'll slide this one inside to Gay, who fires it over the bar and out.
Talked about being compact for Red Force. If you go, the whole team needs to go. You have one missed challenge, and now the whole field starts to open up. Moby Fair needs to either foul this player or get on this ball, because notice how exposed your back line is. Fantastic pick out here for O'Connor, but as this ball comes to Gay, his first touch is actually pretty good. But he's leaning back, he gets underneath the ball, and that's why it goes up and over the crossbar. That action needs to end up in the back of the net.
Hudson Gay, although he is not the goal scorer, it is Mark Torres in the 23rd minute. He's a player, though, that has impressed in his minutes coming up on a half-hour play.
His movement has been really impressive. The ability to feel where to be, the timing of the run. That run right there, understanding the back line for Red Force is retreating.
Under duress here is Perez, has to get rid of it. Look at all these numbers for FC Naples in this defensive half for Red Force. Glancing header along, they were seeking David Ochoa there. Instead, worked back down by Naples. A bit too heavy of an initial touch there from Dominguez. Now here's Moby Fair. 10 career appearances prior to tonight in the U.S. Open Cup in his career. 1 goal scored last year for the former Monterey Bay man, Moby Fair. It's turned over, though, by Steven Salinas.
The problem that Red Force is having right now is they're defending so much and they're throwing so many players behind the ball. When they do get in possession, they just have no options going forward. So if you do have the ability to recover the ball for Red Force, you need to make sure that you connect that first pass, which will allow your players to develop and take higher positions.
Yoder will swing it forward. It's Gay trying to chip the keeper, and he does! 2-0! The hard work pays off for the teenager, Hudson Gay, and just like that, FC Naples have doubled their advantage.
Fantastic ball here from Yoder. Just drops this like an ice cube in a milk cup. Fantastic run from Gay off the shoulder of Mion, and then it's all about the ability to read the goalkeeper and his positioning. Go up and over. Deserving goal for a player who's quite frankly been the best for FC Naples. 2-0 to the home side.
A dream start on the Paradise Coast for FC Naples. A half hour into this U.S. Open Cup fixture. Goals 6 minutes apart for the home side. Matt Poland pulling all the right strings from the touchlines. And his FC Naples squad, one that he has called young, answering the call.
FC Naples goal by number 12, Hudson Gay. Gay, goal, 30th minute.
The layoff back to Moby Fair now. For the connection back inside, seeking Ochoa. Gonzalez couldn't take the initial touch. It's played out. And Gonzalez, safe to say he disagrees with that whistle. Nonetheless, it will be a throw in for FC Naples. Glasser will have the throw for this FC Naples team, second straight year in the U.S. Open Cup. Went to the third round, had a marathon penalty shootout that ultimately ended their stay in the Open Cup against in-state foes from the USL Championship, Tampa Bay Rowdies. They finished with a +4 goal difference, though, in last year's U.S. Open Cup. The offense really opened up, scored 6 goals across all 3 matches, and they picked up where they left off in 2025 here.
This is where you start to see fitness come into play, especially when you don't have a lot of the ball for Red Force. A lot of their work has been off of the ball, chasing players, trying to track down that attacking trio for Naples. So when you do have the ball, you need to value it. You need to retain possession. And again, Red Force is struggling in that department early in this match.
As this first half has carried on, one added element we're seeing, one wrinkle we're seeing added, I should say, into this Naples attack is they are starting to move the ball instead of just vertically side to side, and it's causing Red Force to have to run and cover a lot of ground.
The patience and decision-making has been far better for Naples. You and I talked about it, Jake, the ability to play direct to start this game. That's all we saw from Naples, but now as they settled in, they understood if we can play left to right, gaps will start to open up, and that is when we penetrate.
Hudson Gay whistled for a foul there, running through the defender for Red Force. And Alejandro Mion will have a free kick. Rather, he will defer to Edgard Perez. Perez, the 39-year-old, retired from professional football after the 2022 season. Prior to that, spent 3 seasons professionally in Venezuela with Mineros. Dominguez, the native of Honduras, able to earn a throw in for Red Force and hold everything. There's a second ball carrying around on the pitch. Imagine how much more difficult soccer would be if there were 2 of those out there instead of just 1. This one pops back inside, looking for the cutback pass in front, but the flag is up for offside. of a frantic moment there for Naples in front of Lalo Delgado. They get bailed out by the offside positioning of Daniel Gonzalez. As good as they've been offensively, we have seen some issues for Naples in this end of things.
And give credit to Red Force when they're direct. They've really asked some questions of Naples and their defensive shape, which I agree with you, Jake. They've been extremely shaky. So every single time you get the ball, you can have willing runners and continue to put pressure on Naples. You can maybe start to get one back here if you are Red Force.
Matt Poland did acknowledge ahead of this fixture that, look, there's a level of uncertainty playing this Red Force team. It's won back by Osorio. Plays it centrally to Garcia. Oh, what a save there by Perez. Aggressive coming off his line and keeping it out. Now this one lobbed back forward. Pinballs back toward Perez. And now Perez worse for wear as Chris Garcia made a play for that one. Rather Andres Farin, that is.
Really good timing here from Osorio running out of midfield, but as Millon mistimes this challenge, notice when he brings in a player, that is when he plays this ball into Farin, but if Farin needs to play this ball into Cero, as you engage the goalkeeper, he just had extra pass and it could have easily been 3-0 FC Naples, but what a phenomenal save that is from Perez to make himself big and come off his line quickly.
When Naples is getting into that final third, they're moving at such a frenetic pace. It is hard for Red Force to rotate around and keep all the spots on the pitch covered.
But again, it's the second time that we've seen a Red Force player step out of their line and miss that challenge. And in doing that, then you leave yourself so vulnerable going back the other way. So if you are a defensive midfielder or a center back and you step off of your line, it's either the player or the ball, never both.
That one goes rolling across the end line. Lalo Delgado will have the goal kick. A 2024 All-League second team selection. Spent some time under now Corpus Christi manager Ayman Zayed at Northern Colorado. Talked to Ayman Zayed a few weeks ago. He was effusive, just like Matt Poland was in his praise of Lalo Delgado, who has not really faced a lot of action on this end of things. There have been some of those frantic moments playing out of the back, but in terms of legitimate chances we've seen from Red Force, they haven't committed those numbers ahead, and now on the move is FC Naples. Torres surveying. He'll cut this one out wide. Cross comes in. O'Connor able to settle. Now O'Connor turns, wants Glasser in behind. The give back to Perez. Yoder has some issues with it here. Even Salinas in the vicinity will go down, and this will draw a whistle and a free kick for Red Force.
It's a really important situation here for Red Force. If you can get one right before halftime through a set piece, then you make this game that much more interesting. So you're looking for quality service right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark to really put pressure on Naples' back line and Delgado.
To your point, an important 5 or so minutes coming up here for Red Force as they try to pull a goal back. Those goals 6 minutes apart in the 23rd and 29th minutes for FC Naples to really blow things open. Mark Torres opened the scoring. Hudson Gay added a second. This one lobbed into a crowd. Coated well defensively by Naples. Now they try to work it back to Farin. Farin shakes off a challenge, and now Farin bunching up a little bit there with Julian Cisneros. They want to get those combinations going, but that's probably not spaced out enough if you're what you're looking for from Matt Poland. Meanwhile, Gonzalez having some issues staying on his feet. They'll play it through. Here's Dominguez now. First touch. Out comes Delgado. And he will sprawl on top of that one. We've seen Red Force show a little bit of intention to press, but nothing very aggressive, wanting to keep those lines tight, to your point earlier in this half. We're seeing Naples have no issue playing in behind said lines. At what point, though, Ricky, would, if you were Red Force, do you maybe start to shift some more numbers up?
I would do it the last 5 minutes here, right? Trying to get anything that you can to make this game a little bit more tighter. But again, if that front line goes, that midfield and back line needs to go. The problem that we saw when they did elect to press, there's just too much space in between the lines. And this FC Naples side, they're just far too good. They'll break through you and they will carve you open, especially through the run of play. So you're looking at leadership for this Red Force side, understanding the trigger presses that when you do go, all 10 outfield players need to follow up. Better here.
Glasser feeling the heat, turns and tries to play that upfield. Falls to O'Connor, and now O'Connor. Good first touch there by Farine. Farine is in. Andres Farine stopped by Perez. Edgard Perez continuing to stand on his head these last few minutes, trying to keep Red Force in this competition. Glasser now shifts right past one defender, looking for the early ball in, and it's intercepted by Perez.
Just far too casual from Farine in that opportunity. That is something, if you are Matt Poland, you're going to give him an earful in the locker room saying we have to be relentless for 90 minutes.
Headed back down. Issues at the back again for Red Force. Flashed across goal. It falls to Gay. Gay's pass toward Torres. And again, some of that casual nature there, giving up.
And that's not X and O's, that's not game plan, that's not tactic, that is just pure willingness and mindset. To have that killer and ruthless mentality as an attacking player every single time you get in front of a goal, you're hitting the back of the net. Those are two golden opportunities for Matt Poland and company to put this game out of hand.
Osorio looking for the crossfield pass and couldn't find it.
Talked about for Red Force, if you get the ball, you need to be clean because this sloppy touch, now it's far exposed to your back line. But just notice how casual this is for Farine. Pick out a corner, he's just trying to be far too cute, trying to go up and over Perez. And again, Perez doing a phenomenal job at coming off of his line.
Hudson Gay gave it up to Glasser, was calling for it back, and now here's Osorio. Shifts past one. Gay has to reset things back to Mastrantonio. Now Yoder will play it along. Iancero inside, Cisneros. Cisneros clattered into by the defender, and some frustration bubbling over for Red Force as Juan Quintero whistled for the foul. This will set Naples up with a free kick, albeit from some distance, well within striking distance here, as we come up on the end of what has been an action-packed first 45 minutes. O'Connor shadows over it. He'll back off and instead have a go at it toward goal. Headed down by Farine. Was looking for Torres, who just fumbled with it. The offside flag did come up from the far assistant referee.
Fantastic ball in for O'Connor, but Farine needs to go for goal here. 6 yards out. As you try to become a little bit too unselfish, this ball does pop up on Torres. But again, another opportunity that you want that killer mentality for your number 10. That ball needs to be stuck into the back of the net.
When reflecting on the preseason prior to the Corpus Christi fixture, one thing Matt Poland had said was that stood out to him was just the way this team is connected off the field, how they've created such a tight-knit unit. Maybe being a little too unselfish there. You want some more of that selfishness there if you're Andres Farine.
And a positive that you can take if you are Naples is that he's creating those opportunities, right? As an attacking player, if you can continue to get yourself in good areas, trust your training, and eventually you'll start to find the back of the net.
Glasser, Osorio. Now here's Iancero, former SIUE Cougar of the collegiate level. Reyes will work it back over to Cerro. Good combination in behind. So Cisneros looking for the cross. It falls back toward the penalty spot. Gay not in a position to grab it. That's well defended there from Yoder, stepping up from the center back spot. Working it back over to Cerro, who coughed it up. Goes flipping through. A whiffed clearance. Defender almost got it wrong. And Perez is there. If not for the play of Edgard Perez, this could be 3 or 4-0 as we have 2 minutes of added time, according to the fourth official.
Perez has made some massive saves, specifically in 1v1 situations. His timing and ability to cut down the angle has been really impressive for the Red Force goalkeeper.
Toss ahead from Red Force, goes skipping off the head of Juan Quintero and cleared away.
He's on.
Rolled in behind now. Farine, late arriving is Gay. Out comes Perez again. My goodness. Andres Farine, he must feel like there is a lid in front of that net. That is about the 4th time in this first half he's had an opportunity to add to this lead.
He's done all the hard work. He's timed his run to perfection. He's gone in behind. His touches arriving to the 18-yard box have been really, really good. Top side of your screen, but just far too slow in his decision-making. Hit it right now. You take that second beat, that gives the advantage to Perez to come off his line once again and just smother this ball.
A last push here for Red Force. It's about 30 seconds until the halftime whistle from Jorge Escobar. And again, Naples, bend but don't break, has been the defensive mentality so far in this first 45 minutes. They've capitalized on their chances on the other end. Red Force looking for the service. Ochoa back along. Top of the area now. Salinas wanted a teammate, couldn't find him. And Naples will dislodge that ball. Jorge Escobar content to let Naples play this out. Looking for Farine again in behind instead. In an offside position that time is Andres Farine. There is the alluded to whistle from Jorge Escobar. The opening 45 minutes in the books between FC Naples and Red Force. 2-0, Naples lead.
FC Naples and Matt Poland need to be extremely pleased because you've been clinical when you have gotten in front of goal, but you need to become a little bit more ruthless in the second 45. And for Red Force, you need to figure out your compactness and your collective shape. If you are going to press, everyone needs to go. That is something that can kickstart your attacking phase of play in the second half.
2 goals from 2 different scorers, 6 minutes apart for FC Naples in the opening half. We will head to break and return to the Paradise Coast.
Goal for the home team, 1 for the visitors. 1 corner kick apiece, no yellow cards and no red cards. FC Naples fans, we have a halftime challenge for you. Some season ticket member kids are going to attempt a half-line challenge. The closest the ball gets to the half line will be the winner. We have 4 contestants tonight: Kane, Tanner, Lincoln, and Asher are going to be contesting half-line challenge coming up. Again, these are season ticket member kids. Half-line challenge coming up. Closest to the half line, the midline, wins. All right, who do we have first? All right, Kane, here we go. You're first. Closest to the half line. All right, Kane, here we go. Kane, ready, set, go. That might have a little too much weight on it here. That's not terrible, though. Good job, good job. All right, Tanner, you're next. Closest to the half line. All right, that had a little weight on it, too. Wind must be blowing that way. Okay, here we go. Lincoln, you're next. Half-line challenge, season member kids. Oh, this one has good weight. All right, get out. All right, good job. It didn't lay like good job. That's a good one there. Very nice, Lincoln. Okay, Asher, you're next. Got a little loft there. It's rolling out. Rolling out nicely. That's going to be close. We might have a winner so far. It's going to be close between Lincoln and Asher here. Looks like Lincoln is still in the lead. Okay, we have 2 late contestants. Michaela's next. Michaela, give it a run. Oh, I like this one a lot. This one might even get close to the center dot as well. That's great weight. Good job, Michaela. Okay, Ellie, you're last. Got to get it closer than that. This is going to be close. This is going to be very close. That one might roll over the center dot. Good aim, too. All right, it looks like, oh, that's not being rolled. Judges, is that Michaela's? Yeah. Michaela wins. Michaela wins. They signed FC Naples flag. Thank you to Kane, Tanner, Lincoln, Asher, Michaela, and Ellie, season member kids, for participating tonight at the half-line challenge.
Tables, more entertainment, more slides, more fun. There's more in paradise at Seminole Casino Hotel in Naples.
FC Naples delighted to welcome our featured group to tonight's match. If you're interested in a group experience for your family, friends, or colleagues, visit fcnaples.com for more information. Visit Super Soccer for all your soccer needs. Super Soccer offers footwear, soccer balls, and equipment, and official jerseys as well. Located at 8793 1080 Trail East, visit Super Soccer this week. FC enjoy your night out with FC Naples.
Hard Rock here too. What's up, Hard Rock?
FC Naples, which is a big shout out to all of our small business members in the community. We thank you for being a part of the action here tonight.
Here's to the highlights that inspire us. The people and the places. With magic, energy, and good vibes. Where every dream is cheered for. Ave Maria, a big kind of small town.
Meteorologist Lauren Kreidler, and it is halftime. Let's take a look at that forecast temperature. Staying put in those mid-60s. It is a cooler evening here in Naples. Under those mostly cloudy skies, I'm expecting those mostly cloudy skies to stick around for the next few hours. Those temperatures dropping a couple of degrees, but staying put in those low 60s. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Essentially was all I dreamed of.
It's halftime in Florida of this first round U.S. Open Cup draw between Naples and Red Force. FC Naples leads it 2-0 alongside longtime pro Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Jake Griffith, glad to have you with us. Let's catch you up on the action that was in the opening 45 minutes with our first half highlights. And Ricky, for Naples, there were plenty of highlights.
The direct play from Naples did a phenomenal job, whether it was Farin, Gay, Cito, or O'Connor, just causing all sorts of issues for this Red Force back line. O'Connor did a really good job when making those runs out of midfield, but they were a little shaky as well when trying to play out of the back. Give credit to Red Force. Moby Fair does a phenomenal job here, just picking and choosing his times when to be aggressive, unable to get a clean strike. But you thought after that opportunity, Red Force was going to start to grow in confidence. But FC Naples, when they were quick, when they were decisive, they found a lot of success. But Perez was phenomenal for Red Force.
The combinations and interlinks have been really impressive in that first half for FC Naples.
Yeah, there's just no stopping this. This fantastic strike from Torres. Good recognition from O'Connor to let him develop his run, his first touch out of his body. Into the back of the net we go. But just notice the amount of space right now. And you leave your back line of Red Force exposed. Another good pick out from O'Connor, but just the balance all off here from Gay. Does everything right, just puts it up and over the crossbar.
And then Red Force, before the end of the first half, they would tally another goal as this one chipped over there by Hudson Gay. Finally rewarded Ricky for his hard work.
Yeah, really good run from Day, just playing off the shoulder of the two center backs up and over Perez. And that is how we walk into halftime, 2-0 in favor of FC Naples.
As we take a look at our stats from the opening 45 minutes, and while Naples leads it 2-0, it could be even more. You look at that 5 shots on target. Matt Pullen and company, they're going to want to clean that up a little bit in terms of their ruthlessness.
Need to be more efficient for Matt Pullen and company because you're creating some good goal-scoring opportunities, but that needs to translate onto the scoreboard. And for Red Force, 0 shots on target. You need to afford a little bit more going forward, especially if you can get a set piece. Make this game a little bit interesting. Continue to play direct and continue to ask questions of Naples' back line and Delgado, but also pressing. If that front line goes, that whole line needs to go together. Compactness will be the name of the game for Red Force.
We saw Red Force in the opening moments of that first half, about the first 15 minutes. They really had some good, as we showed you in the highlights. They created some issues at the back for Naples. They had some good combinations, just unable to make much happen with it, though. As we're back inside the Paradise Coast Sports Complex, along with Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Jake Griffith. It's been a fun night of U.S. Open Cup soccer here in Naples, Florida. There's plenty more to come. Greenville Triumph, Asheville City, the Burrito Boys of El Farolito in action. Union Omaha going on the road and taking on BOFHS of St. Louis. A great story there out of St. Louis, a city that has so much history with this U.S. Open Cup. One of the destinations that, as a community, has some of the most U.S. Open Cup titles as a city. All set to go here for half number 2. Moments away from the opening whistle from Jorge Escobar. It was goals in the 23rd and 30th minutes. Monterrey's Hudson Gay, 7 minutes apart. Ricky, if you're Red Force, though, you stare down a 2-0 deficit. You've got 45 minutes to play for your U.S. Open Cup lives. How important are these opening 10 minutes to the second half?
Massively. Right, try to set the tempo, try to play direct, just cause some chaos. Yes, you want to play beautiful soccer, but efficiency is what needs to happen here for Red Force.
Both teams out from the halftime dressing rooms. Red Force in the red with the black shorts will kick things off. And there is the whistle from Jorge Escobar. Back underway for half number 2 between FC Naples out of USL League One and Red Force, the amateur side, who will slip it through up ahead to their number 10, Steven Salinas. Ran out of some real estate, but will earn a throw in for his efforts. Promptly forcing a turnover was Mark Torres, able to come up with the takeaway. And now there is a Red Force player that is down. FC Naples will have the throw in to get play back underway off the brief stoppage. Torres is there turning and thumping that one forward. Does take a deflection out wide. And here is Andres Farin, who will lay it off inside. Cuts it across the face of goal. Clearance back toward their netminder and Perez. Not clear yet if you're Red Force. Just one change at the half, and it rests with FC Naples as William Arevalo, the Colombian, coming on. Slid centrally here for FC Naples. They'll shovel it out wide. It's Farin now. Farin stands up across, into the thick of it. Knotted down, back toward Moby Fair. This is where the real hard work begins, though, for Red Force.
A lot of that first half was defending for Red Force. Didn't really have the opportunity once they did recover the ball to have any options ahead of it. So especially if you do retain possession, that front line needs to get as high as they possibly can, as quick as they can, to give you guys your side an option to play into.
Juan Quintero trying to funnel that one forward to Brian Dominguez, and instead taken back away by FC Naples, who have done such a good job tonight of commanding that midfield space. They're one of the top 5 teams in USL League One in ball recoveries per 90 minutes. Dominguez there for Red Force goes down and able to draw a whistle. It'll be Juan Quintero there at the bottom of your screen, who will roll this one ahead to resume play. Part of the City Soccer Society's TST team a season ago. Back ahead, here's Dominguez. And the much smaller Cisneros just muscling him off the ball. It does concede the corner, though.
An opportunity here for Red Force to put this ball into a dangerous area, get your big boys forward, and really put pressure on Delgado and this back line for Naples.
Red Force did score off a corner in their Open Division qualifying match. This one thumped in, out-swinging ball. Hudson Gay able to fight off a challenge, and now off to the races he is. Some options here for Hudson Gay, who scored in the 30th minute. Looking to straddle that stripe and just cannot. Locked in a battle, and it'll be a goal kick awarded.
With the sub made for Matt Poland, Arevalo's going to play as the lone striker, which will drop Gay to his right back position, drop in Farin to the left side of that front three, settle to the right side, so a little bit of flexibility shown from FC Naples coming out of the half.
When the lineups dropped, it was interesting because FC Naples, some teams tend to, especially this being a midweek, you have weekend fixtures coming up, they might rotate their lineup a little bit. Matt Poland, he's a guy who has the utmost respect for the U.S. Open Cup. He told us that he's probably appreciates it more than any professional coach in America, as change of possession will occur via the throw in. He rolled out just about as top of a lineup as possible, but now giving Max Glasser a well-deserved rest. This one flashed in toward Farin. Can't take the touch. He is just unlucky tonight.
Really good ball in from O'Connor. And Farin again does all of the hard work, slashes across his individual defenders to get goal side. But as this ball bounces, just go and attack it. You cannot have or give yourself the luxury of time nor space in the attacking 18-yard box to let this ball drop. Red Force doing a good job at recovering.
Here's Yoder, former Longwood Lancer at the collegiate level. Almost 5,000 minutes played in his collegiate career at the Division I level prior to joining FC Naples in the offseason. Salinas, 2010 JUCO All-American before moving on to USF collegiately. We talked a lot in the first half, especially the infancy of it, those first 10 to 15 minutes about the defensive shape for Red Force. Have to give that same credit, though, to Naples, because number 6 in red is Moby Fair, former Monterey Bay man, spent time with Las Vegas Lights, also Portland Timbers 2 when they were a USL side prior to joining MLS Next Pro, and they've essentially taken Moby Fair out of this contest.
Oh, I think a big situation that happened for Red Force was losing their captain Ceballos early in this match, because what it did,
run in behind was Arevalo and instead cleared out.
It dropped Moby Fair a line deeper, and it's just his responsibility started to shift more defensively, covering a lot of ground. When he plays higher, he gets on the ball a little bit more, can find that final ball. So that is a big talking point that Red Force unfortunately had to deal with early in this match.
He played 219 minutes, Moby Fair did, with Monterey Bay during the 2023 U.S. Open Cup. That a career high in this competition. He's a guy that can create from different parts on the pitch. Quintero now hounded by Osorio. Unable to find the combination was Red Force. Naples, they are able to find the combination. Springing Cisneros free. Late arriving run. Able to find Farine on the overlap now. Steps inside. Still Andres Farine. Farine over to Osorio. Too heavy of a touch there from Hudson Gay. Nonetheless, good ball work here in this attacking half for FC Naples. Cisneros, he'll stand up across. Left it a bit short toward O'Connor. Touch taken though. There's Torres, able to keep the possession alive. Farine, defender goes to ground, and Andres Farine goes spilling out of play.
A really good reading of the play there from Millon. Understanding there's only one option for O'Connor to pop this ball into Farine. Times this challenge to perfection. Well done by the center back.
Alessandro Millon, previously with Virginia Tech collegiately, played in the 2015 season, 11 appearances that year. Here's a ball over the top. Naples trying to run in behind and possess it. Arevalo back to goal, nods it along. Here's O'Connor, cleaned up initially by Red Force. And now that takes a deflection off of O'Connor's hand.
It's the second time that a Naples player has just waited for this ball to bounce. You're in the attacking 18-yard box. You need to attack it.
It's some of those movements and thoughts, though, that you would imagine would start to come together for this Naples team the deeper they get into the season. It is something that Matt Poland has emphasized a lot in these last few weeks. By no means are we a finished product yet.
And the final product, the final progression in the team's develop is that final third, which is the hardest thing in this game, is to find the back of the net.
Back over to Farine via Torres. There's Farine. Well defended again there by Red Force. They come out with some renewed intensity to start this second 45 minutes. Dominguez will get it back. Turned upfield now, a foot race. Osorio will beat Dominguez to the punch. Flung forward here. Trying to stay onside as Naples, and they do. It was Cerro. Flag stays down. Cerro twisting and turning around. Now over to Gay. Osorio on the turn. Forward. Here's Farine centrally. Arevalo back wide to O'Connor. Cisneros now in behind. Still Cisneros, thought about centering and just cut off there defensively. How about that work there on the touchline from Dominguez? All for naught though, as Red Force will turn it over.
Those are the situations that you need to retain possession if you are Red Force. Work extremely hard to recover the ball, and again, a really good defensive action from Alessandro Millon, the center back.
Last season, USL League One teams went 11-2-2 combined in the opening round of the U.S. Open Cup, including this FC Naples team advancing to the second round. 3 different USL League One squads moving on to the round of 32. Union Omaha, AV Alta, and Chattanooga Red Wolves. Dominguez tracking that ball down. Here's Quintero. Didn't see a lot of this from Red Force. Possession in the attacking half during that first 45 minutes. Much better in that regard here in half number 2. Delgado able to come out and clean things up in front of goal for FC Naples, and Cisnero with it now. Here's O'Connor. Tried to work it back out wide to the streaking Cisneros in behind, and a bit too heavy there. Ochoa. Thought he had a teammate up ahead, instead cleared all the way back down. As Red Force, though, starts to work their way more into the attacking half. Number 4 in red, the man who's in possession of it now on this touchline. You're starting to see Juan Quintero get a little bit more confidence and push up into the attack from that fullback spot. How much does that transform the profile of the attack when you get your fullbacks involved?
Well, it also allows Dominguez, the player ahead of him, to play a little bit more central, right? So you have more options that you can play in central locations. And in theory, you draw out FC Naples a bit more narrow as well, which gives more time and space for Quintero to advance high up the field. So it's something we didn't see for Red Force, a little bit of rotation, but also the comfortability on the ball and settling into this match.
That one goes out off the boots of Hudson Gay. And Gabriel Vega, manager of Red Force, readying 2 changes. Support will come on as Ignacio Calcagno, a player who has some good Open Cup history under his belt, scored for Miami United in the 87th minute in the 2017 U.S. Open Cup. We'll get his first run of the night, and he is joined by Miskael Francois, the Floridian.
Automatically, you just see Dominguez drop back into that right back position. Quintero will play left back, and Francois will play at that left midfield position. So attacking-minded subs here for Gabriel Vega and Red Force.
Francois, the 23-year-old, as a change of possession will occur. Naples will have the throw. Francois, the 23-year-old, he appeared in the 2023 U.S. Open Cup. 1 shot on target, 2 shots in a start for Club de Lyon. Make no mistake, this might be Red Force's first stint in the U.S. Open Cup in 7 years, but they've assembled a roster that has good experience under their belts in this tournament. As Skay will toss it back ahead. Torres trying to leave it off there for Ian Cerro. All over it defensively was Red Force. Coming up on the hour mark played in this competition. At the 30th minute, it was Hudson Gay who scored the most recent goal to double the Naples lead. Farin's pass cut off, and promptly Red Force gives it back away.
Attention fans, alcoholic beverages will stop being served around the stadium in the 75th minute. We'll keep the party going at the Cove, though, on the north side of the stadium.
One of those themes to start the 2026 calendar for this FC Naples side was, we're not a finished product. We're still a work in progress. We're feeling our way through. A lot of that stems from the loss of a player in Carson Hinderlong, 14 goals last USL season. More on that in a moment. Cut back inside, late arriving run, parried away by Perez. And a foul committed to wash out the opportunity.
We've seen FC Naples find a lot of success when they go wide, but also notice the back line for Red Force. They're all coming towards the ball, but they're also always retreating. So that leaves that cutback wide open Fantastic little pick out from Cisneros. And again, Perez doing a phenomenal job at keeping his team in this game.
Some issues clearing the lines here for Red Force. That was a theme we saw develop right about this point of the first half, about 15 minutes in. FC Naples will have a throw in as Hudson Gay will back up for the long toss in. Finds the head of O'Connor. A collision inside that 18. Player goes down for the home side. And Naples will pull things back out and reset. Going back to Naples, though, that idea of not being a finished product. You lose Carson Hinderlong in the offseason, 14 goals in USL League One play, and the offside flag will come up. Anytime you lose a player of Hinderlong's quality and caliber, it's going to take some time the following season to figure out who your main striker is going to be. They essentially built the team around him last year.
It's not going to be one guy. It's going to be a collective effort for this Naples side. And Hinderlong was just that good of a player. He was a complete striker, a player that continued to develop as the year progressed and got his well-deserved move up to USL Championship. So it's going to be a collective, multiple players that are going to chip in the goal-scoring category.
Julian Cisneros, his night is done. Covered a lot of ground in the attack from that back line for Matt Poland and company. On comes Jaden Strumeyer, the 25-year-old, signed this offseason, spent last year at UNC Wilmington collegiately. His third appearance, all competitions. Also joining Strumeyer on the pitch is Taylor Gray. Big pickup in the offseason for Matt Poland and company. Comes over from Tormenta, South Georgia. 23 appearances, 4 goal contributions last year for Taylor Gray. There was a whistle from Jorge Escobar. The aforementioned Gray is a guy that Matt Poland talked about prior to the Corpus Christi fixture in match week 2 of USL League One play, and he feels like the flexibility and Taylor Gray's ability to be played at any position on the pitch really transforms the profile of this attack differently than what we saw last year.
Yeah, Gray's going to give you 1v1 ability. He can play down the center, he can connect, he can drop deeper, but probably most comfortable playing wide in isolation, the ability to be very direct and very quick within his movements.
Turned over at the back by Red Force. Here's Gray sniffing around. He'll pick the pieces up here for FC Naples. Strumeyer laid back off to him. The cut back inside, it's Gray. Still Gray carrying on. Well done by the defender to avoid that ball carrying up and hitting the hand inside the 18, and there will be a whistle for a foul. Joshua Yoder going down.
Really aggressive positioning from Yoder. Notice the two center backs, how high they are, trying to squeeze this game and keep it in front of them.
Torres, flight on his feet, able to just get past that defender. Mastrantonio now, 14 appearances with AV Alta last year, one of those USL League One teams that went to the round of 32 in this competition, and now another player taken down for FC Naples, and this will draw our first booking of the evening. Juan Quintero shown yellow.
Maybe a bit of frustration starting to set in for this Red Force side. The right arm extended away from his body. You always run the risk when you have your hand that high, makes contact, and deserving of a yellow card for Quintero.
Somewhat unusual to go 65 minutes deep in any competition before you get your first booking. Of course, if you're both coaches, that's what you hope, right? You want a clean game, an exciting game. And that has been this contest. Osorio whips this into the mixer. Cerro trying to head it back along on the second ball in. Touched his hand off an awkward bounce. And the opportunity over if you're FC Naples. Ricky, as we look at some of the upcoming U.S. Open Cup fixtures. Greenville Triumph at Asheville City. El Farolito playing San Antonio. We mentioned Union Omaha on the road. Lou City, big news this week with their manager, Danny Cruz, leaving to take the assistant coaching position at Minnesota United. Is there one team that you feel like is primed for an upset in this opening round?
El Farolito, the Burrito Boys. Come on, you can't bet against them. All the success that they've had. Cinderella story. A team that is extremely easy to get behind. I think you have to circle that game. El Farolito, every single time the Open Cup comes around, that is a team that you need to support.
Such a great story these last couple years, and they really have become the darlings of the U.S. Open Cup these last few years. When El Farolito takes the pitch in the nation's oldest competition, they are must-see television. Osorio with the switch over to Strumeyer. How about that ball laid off and behind? Gray. Support is building here for Taylor Gray. Steps back inside, able to get that cross off. It'll fall out the other side. Here's Gay now. Real questions being asked by FC Naples. Third ball into the near post, and that just out of the reach of Taylor Gray.
Gray and Strumeyer on this near side have done a really good job at playing off one another. If Gray does provide the width, Strumeyer comes a little bit more central and vice versa. You always want to play on different planes when you are playing ahead of a player.
Perez errant with his distribution, and this will set Naples up with the throw in. Strumeyer near side. He'll peel this one back to O'Connor. Personally, I think one of the fun things about the U.S. Open Cup is you'll always see former professionals pop up, like we see with Des Moines Menace, who went down yesterday against professional competition. You'll always see a random professional player or two, or in Des Moines' case, a whole lot of them. Ricky, when are we going to see you in the U.S. Open Cup?
No. My days of strapping the boots are well beyond me. I'd rather hang out with you in the booth. That is my calling now.
Well, glad to have you here in the booth, and glad to have you all tuning in for this first round match between FC Naples and Red Force. 2 first-half goals for Naples, the only scoring so far. O'Connor drives this in toward goal, pops toward Perez, who bats away at it, and it's a corner.
As this play develops, I want you to notice the left side of your screen. Arevalo, his timing right now just slashes across Quintero. Does a really good job at arriving and getting goal side, but it's a difficult ball to be dealt with from O'Connor as it just skips off the turf, arriving into him.
Naples, one of the better teams in USL League One at generating set-piece opportunities. A corner here, first of this second half. As Osorio will take it. Osorio drives it to the back stick, falls toward goal. It's off the side netting and out. We said Naples had to be more ruthless in front of goal in this second half. Haven't quite seen it yet, another wasted opportunity. Jorge Escobar whistles for a foul. FC Naples will have a free kick. They will mix things up again. On comes David Holguin, and joining him is Mario Vicente. A pair of Floridians. Holguin specifically, he scored back in the 2014 U.S. Open Cup qualifier final in the 87th minute, rather the 80th minute, to punch Naples' ticket to the 2014, or rather, Red Force's ticket to the 2014 U.S. Open Cup. It was that 2014 season that Red Force ended up winning an opening round match, their best ever finish in the second round. Well defended there by Hudson Gay. Stuck in and wins it back high up the pitch. And now Gray gets a shove from behind, and this will be a free kick.
Need to be really careful if you are Quintero already on a yellow card. If you have any hopes of getting your side back into this game, you need to do it with 11 players on the field. Become a little bit overzealous, you give Naples an opportunity to put pressure on Perez from a really difficult angle.
Osorio and O'Connor will both shadow over this ball on that far side of the 18. It'll be O'Connor lobs this one into the crowd and out. On May 31st, Charlotte, North Carolina welcomes the U.S. men's national team for the All-State Continental Classico against Senegal. Get your first look at the nation's biggest stars before they head to the FIFA World Cup this summer. The match kicks off at Bank of America Stadium at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets are available now at ussoccer.com/tickets.
You going?
I'd like to go, honestly. It should be a really fun competition there between the U.S. and Senegal. Of course, everybody looking forward to the biggest competition of them all, the World Cup coming to our backyard. And that even having impacts on this U.S. Open Cup. This year, the Open Cup shortened to an 80-team format due to the World Cup here in America, Canada, and Mexico this summer. The U.S. Open Cup final, October 21st, 2026. As Naples making one more change, Aiden Macias will come on, the Englishman. England thinks they have a good shot to have it come home this year in 2026. Hudson Gay, again, wowing this crowd here in Naples. Still Gay now. Gay, he'll cut it back in front. He's looking for Arevalo, and instead cleared away again.
Very impressive Gay has. You take a nice little close look at Taylor Gray there. Gay's been really impressive with his verticality, the ability to attack space, make his decision makings in the final third. Been a standout player for FC Naples.
Over the last 10 minutes, Naples has really started to overwhelm Red Force in that middle third space. They controlled so much of this match tonally and stylistically by utilizing their midfield defense. Now whipped ahead. They were looking for Arevalo running toward goal. He's given them a new look since he's come on in this second half at the start of it.
Arevalo, more of a focal point number 9, not going to be that slasher that we saw from Farina or Seto or Gay making those darting runs. He wants the ball to feet. He's going to occupy the both center backs, which will allow, in theory, both wingers to stay as wide as they possibly can as well. So the spacing is a little bit more balanced through the attacking phase for FC Naples.
A whistle here from Jorge Escobar. One of the greatest rivalries in women's international soccer is coming to Seattle. The U.S. women's national team returns to Lumen Field for the first time in nearly a decade, facing Japan on Tuesday, April 14th. World Cup finals, Olympic thrillers, iconic moments. This rivalry has delivered it all, and now it's coming to the Pacific Northwest. Get tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets. Now that is some must-see action right there. The U.S. women's national team under Emma Hayes. So fun to watch. Here is Taylor Gray. Peels this one back. Still toying with the defender. Now Gray unleashes a cross. O'Connor got a noggin to it, and instead it'll trickle out. It has been fun to watch Matt Poland tinker, though, with tactics going from USL League One play into this match. You go back to match week 1 when they took on Fort Wayne. Naples did, as there's a Red Force player down. They came out in a 4-1-4-1, And they almost went strikerless in that competition. Had roving nines moving around, and it gave him a different look. Poland thought they struggled a bit with their ruthlessness, but in this second half, they might have found something here with the addition of Aravallo.
It's been a more of a structured type of attack for Naples as we see Gay come in. Just trying to maybe get a little bit of revenge there on Quintero. Deserving of a yellow card. It's late as Gay goes into the book.
It's the second yellow handed out by Jorge Escobar. Cerro will switch that one out wide. This time it's Gay going one-on-one with Quintero. Gay had a beat on him, but couldn't track the ball down, and instead it goes out again. As good as Naples has been, and you look at the XG, 1.6, their offense has been a well-oiled machine in this contest, but you have to imagine Matt Poland is going to walk away from this happy but a bit frustrated because they just have not been as clinical as they could be.
Chance creation has been there, but the efficiency in the final third has been certainly lacking for Naples. And that's something that...
Gray. It'll carry him back to Gray. Dangerous moment here, looking for the release on the clearance.
An opportunity for FC Naples to continue to find and fine-tune things in the attacking phase of play. Another opportunity here.
One back by Macias. Counter developing quickly.
Great ball.
Macias in behind. The flag comes up again.
Really good work here from the CS. Just a little bit off in terms of the timing. As said, about half of a yard behind that back line of Red Force.
Red Force on the offensive side of things, still just one shot. That coming all the way back in the first 45 minutes. In fact, within the opening half hour of this match. Here is an opportunity, though, as this one worked up ahead. Cross swung in. Mion was at the penalty spot. Ignacio Calcagno, who came on as a sub, trying to keep possession in this end, and instead he will go into the book. Luca Mastrantonio down in a heap.
Number 9, Ignacio Calcagno. This yellow card brought to you by the law offices of Markel Shapiro.
Just a heavy collision there as Mastrantonio was looking for the clearance. Play back underway off the stoppage as Hudson Gay will head it along. Sneaking in behind now, it's Cerro on the right-hand side. He'll turn and work this one forward. The flag delayed, but will ultimately come up. The U.S. women's national team will conclude its three-match series against Japan on Friday, April 17th in Commerce City, Colorado, featuring the last two She Believes Cup champions. This top 10 matchup takes place on a special Hello Kitty-themed night at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Secure your tickets today at ussoccer.com/tickets.
You going?
You know, I have to be honest, I don't know. I would like to go. I don't know much about Hello Kitty.
You and I can go. We'll learn
can go.
together.
Yeah, we'll learn together, right? Do
go.
some research. Matt Poland electing to make a change here as we cross over the 80th minute. Lalo Delgado, their captain, will leave. On comes Joshua Grant, the former Red Bull New York 2 netminder, for his first appearance in a Naples shirt. Joshua Grant, a young, high-rising goalkeeper native of Florida, but was as recently as February of this year called to the Jamaican national team for their U20 World Cup qualifiers. Last year, during his time with then Red Bull New York 2 manager Michael Bradley, and Red Bull New York 2 was called into the Jamaica U17 national team. A foul given and a free kick won here by FC Naples. The home side trying to salt away these final few minutes and secure their ticket to the second round of the nation's oldest tournament in consecutive seasons. It's O'Connor toward goal, off the post, loose on the goal line, and batted away.
A really good strike here from O'Connor. The ball goes up and not down. A lot of pace, a lot of bend, and it's a good save in the end for Perez. Almost punches it off the crossbar, and in the end, good recovery from Red Force to deny the third for Naples.
Are there any screamer set-piece goals in your career that you've scored that stick out to you to this day?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. Scored one from half.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, wow. Mr. Humble here. Wait, just pulling that one out of the bag.
Am I just not supposed to answer?
No.
I actually never scored a goal in my life.
I can say definitively I have never scored a goal in my life. In fact, I stopped playing soccer after maybe the 3rd grade because, spoiler alert, I like to talk. Clearly reflected in what I do for a living. Defender went down. Here's Osorio. Could have been something beautiful there for FC Naples. Instead, defensively stymied again by Red Force, who plead their case for a whistle but won't get it.
You start to see the heavy legs come into play, and it's something that we've come to accustom to in the Open Cup first round, especially when amateur teams play against professional teams. Professional teams have had the luxury of preseason, 1 or 2 league games, so their game fitness is continuing to rise, while this Red Force side not having that structure and that discipline. So as the game continues to progress, fatigue certainly makes a case.
You are starting to see this shape defensively break down for Red Force. Bobbling that one is Perez. Ultimately coming up with it. A real tip of the cap has to go to Edgard Perez. He has kept Red Force FC rather, in this contest to the tune of 12 saves tonight.
And he's made some impressive ones as well. You can talk about the saves that are just right down the middle of the goal, but he's made saves coming off of his line. The timing needed to be right, the angle that he approaches the ball to be right. That last save that he just punches it up against the crossbar to deny what it could have been a wonder strike from O'Connor, been the best player for the visiting side.
Mastrantonio will reset things. Here's Grant now. Strong distribution ahead. Oh, how about that? Great. Having a back heel it forward, volleyed ahead, and just a bit too far ahead from Cerro. Well, hey, we're not the only ones having fun up here. FC Naples really starting to flex their muscles and toy with the amateur side. Played forward. Here's Mion, the former Virginia Tech Hokie. Tried a shot, instead goes out, and Grant will have the goal kick.
A little bit of class here shown by Gray, the up and over, understanding the runs coming on. I'll tell you what, if Arvalo takes a second touch, that could have very easily been the third for FC Naples.
I I could only imagine doing something like that in FIFA.
Stop.
You would not want to see me. Now, I played hockey. I make no mistake, I have some athleticism, but not that kind.
Got to get you out to pickup one day.
Oh, goodness. You'll be 5 minutes in, you'll be calling the ambulance. We have the broadcaster. He tore his ACL trying to do something crazy. Next thing you know, my mother is flying down from Canada. Throw in finds Osorio for FC Naples. Ricky, so much is made every year about how special this competition is, and it is absolutely special. What makes it to you such a special competition?
An opportunity. As a player, as a club, all you can ask for is an opportunity to showcase yourself, as we see another silly foul given by Red Force.
Down goes Kevin O'Connor, who won that foul.
Yeah, players, coaches, fans, organizations, all you can ask for is a platform to showcase yourself, a platform to continue the dream, and that is exactly what the Open Cup does. It affords lower division teams to play against professionals to see what the standard is, and there's just so many beautiful stories that have came from this tournament's players kickstarting their attacking career, their professional career, excuse me, but also Cinderella stories. We talked about the Burrito Boys, El Farolito. What about that story? A burrito truck came together. Employees, players that know what it takes to be successful have gone on massive runs. Such storylines in this tournament.
Those sentiments expressed equally by Matt Poland earlier this week. He said the U.S. Open Cup is the most beautiful but chaotic tournament that exists in all of soccer. Meanwhile, FC Naples, they have a free kick opportunity here, seeking that elusive third goal. Osorio and O'Connor. O'Connor toward goal and stopped by Perez. The memories of the U.S. Open Cup are special, the runs, the Cinderella stories. It also makes it special that whoever's the final team standing, they're going to get a significant payday at the end of this. $1 million payday on the line for the winner of the U.S. Open Cup. Last year, it was Nashville SC taking down Austin FC in Austin. Another yellow will come out of the pocket of Jorge Escobar, our center referee, Alessandro Mion.
No need to leave your feet. And as his play develops, the left boot comes a little bit high from Millon. And I'll tell you what, Jorge Escobar has done a really good job at controlling this game. When he sees anything, he's called it. Quick to pull out yellow cards. A lot of times when frustration starts to set in, games like this starts to get out of hand.
Lumped up ahead and nodded down toward Edgar Perez. And no nonsense officiating, but also common sense officiating, right? We didn't see any yellows in the first half. There was some physical play, but he was content to just use the whistle to control it. Here's Mion looking for the cross in. Well defended there by FC Naples. Red Force, likely one of the longest spells they've spent in this end of the pitch. They'll back up for the long throw in. Mion tossed up ahead, pinballing around, kept in by Red Force, and cleared away. Gray was trying to spring Alvarado free. There is a Red Force player down. And now finally Jorge Escobar made aware of that, and he will whistle for a stoppage. Ignacio Calcagno, the Argentinian, he is down, and you see he is struggling.
Awkward step. Not what you want to see, especially so late in the game for any player.
Importantly, Red Force are out of changes. They have utilized all 5 of their substitutes. 2 minutes of stoppage time given. It'll likely be a little bit more than that due to the injury. Ignacio Calcagno hobbled off the pitch. Red Force did have to make a very early substitution, burning one of their 5. Their captain, Steven Ceballos, couldn't stay in the contest, had to be subbed out after 15 minutes. Late arriving run. Good dummy back through. It's Gray loading up. Gray going for it. It's in! A spectacular way to bookmark it for FC Naples. 3 goals, and they're moving on to the second round.
Fantastic recognition here from Taylor Gray. Bottom of your screen, notice just his movement, getting himself into a dangerous area. Really good run from Macias. Pulls about 3 Red Force players. And this touch right there. Sets his feet. No stopping that whatsoever. Really good strike up and over the center back. Perez unable to make a courtesy dive. 3-0, FC Naples.
The bangers only in Naples tonight. The first goal, fantastic. The second goal, equally as good. And the third, a spectacular strike. There is the final whistle from Jorge Escobar. FC Naples, for the second consecutive season, are moving on out of the first round of the U.S. Open Cup.
The better side through 90 minutes, on and off the ball. On the ball, a little bit more threatening. Off the ball, very compact. Job well done by FC Naples and Matt Poland.
A clinical performance on this Wednesday evening in Florida as we take a look at our match highlights. Plenty of highlights all around for the home side in FC Naples.
Now we've seen 3 really good goals. It starts here with Torreas. O'Connor picks up his head, lets him make that run into the interior, but that first touch is everything. He can just attack the ball. He steps into it, and just the bend, the dip, impressive. And the second goal, Gay doing a phenomenal job at staying as high as he possibly can, playing off the blind side of Coro. And as Perez gets caught off of his line, up and over, really well taken goal by a player who's the most active for FC Naples, and a goal that we just saw. Taylor Gray stays with the play. Macias makes a run out of midfield, requires 3 Red Force players, and gives Taylor Gray the ability to be aggressive. Good finish to that far post. 3 points, 3 goals, and FC Naples advance at the next round.
A hard-fought effort for the amateur side, Red Force, who returned to the U.S. Open Cup for the first time in 7 seasons. Their run is over. FC Naples are moving on. For my partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and the rest of our broadcast crew, I'm Jake Griffith saying so long from PCSC Stadium. FC Naples wins it 3-0 over Red Force.